All right, what is up, team? Welcome back. Today we are diving deep into something that honestly gets criminally overlooked in the world of strength and muscle building. I mean, we obsess over our protein, our pre-workouts, our creatine, but what if one of the biggest keys to unlocking new gains was a simple, humble mineral? Let's get into it.
All right, first up, the unsung hero of gains. Let's set the stage and figure out why this mineral might just be the missing piece in your whole nutritional puzzle.
So you've probably got your protein, your carbs, and your fats dialed in to the gram, right? And that's awesome. That is the foundation. But are you leaving performance on the table by ignoring the micronutrients? It's kind of like building a skyscraper with the strongest steel beams money can buy, but then forgetting the tiny nuts and bolts that actually hold the whole thing together. Look, there's a whole universe of vitamins and minerals that play a role in how you perform, how you recover, and how you grow. But for this explainer, we are putting one specific super powerful micronutrient right under the microscope: zinc.
Okay, section 2, why athletes need zinc. Let's build our foundation here. Before we get into all the cool muscle building specifics, we have to understand why zinc is so fundamentally important for anyone who's pushing their body to the limit.
So let's start with a super simple definition. Zinc is an essential trace element. Essential is the key word there. It means your body can't make it on its own. You have to get it from your diet. And check this out. A huge chunk of it is stored right in your musculoskeletal system. Your body literally keeps it right where all the action happens.
And its job description? It's massive. Zinc is a total workhorse. We're talking about it being involved in hundreds of metabolic reactions that are critical for just producing energy. It helps keep your immune system firing on all cylinders, which is vital when you're constantly breaking your body down with hard training. It helps manage oxidative stress. You can think of that like cellular rust-proofing. It even gives structure to key enzymes. The big takeaway here is really simple. The harder you train, the more you lean on all these systems, and the greater your body's demand for zinc becomes. Section 3, the muscle building switch. Okay, this is the part you've been waiting for. How does this little mineral actually flip the switch for muscle growth? Let's zoom in and see exactly how it works, right from the cellular level. To really get zinc's power, we have to go microscopic. I mean, forget the gym, forget the barbell for a second. We're going inside a single muscle fiber. This is where the magic really happens. It's this incredibly complex dance of signals that tells your muscles to either grow or stagnate. So, muscle growth, or hypertrophy, if you want to be fancy, it basically breaks down into 3 steps. Step 1, the stimulus. You lift heavy, you create tiny bits of micro damage. That's the signal. Step 2, activation. Your body's emergency responders. These amazing things called muscle satellite cells get the call to action. And step 3, growth. These activated cells get to work, fusing to the damaged muscle fibers to repair them, making them bigger and stronger for next time. Now, zinc plays its starring role right there in step 2.
And you don't have to take my word for it. A 2015 study put it perfectly. Now, myogenic cells is just the fancy science term for those muscle satellite cells we were just talking about, the construction crew for building new muscle. Zinc basically helps wake them up and tells them to multiply. This is such a critical step. If these cells don't get activated, the whole repair process just stalls out, meaning all your hard work in the gym doesn't actually translate into growth.
Let's use an analogy to make this stick. If your workout is the architect's blueprint for a bigger muscle, and those satellite cells are the construction workers, then zinc is the foreman on the job site. It's the one with the clipboard, blowing the whistle, and telling the entire crew, all right, time to get to work.
And how does our foreman do this? Well, it activates a critical signaling pathway called PI3K/AKT. You do not need to memorize that name. Just think of it as the main power switch for the entire construction site. Zinc flips this switch on, which in turn tells those satellite cells to get moving, kicking off the whole repair and growth process. No foreman, no flip switch, no growth. It's that important.
Section 4, zinc in the real world. So, that's the science in the lab, which is cool. But does any of this actually translate to real results for people pushing real iron in the gym? Let's take a look at the evidence. Whoa, just take a look at the massive difference on this chart. A study looked at the diets of different masters-level athletes. So the general athletes, they were getting about 9.6 milligrams of zinc per day. But the powerlifters, they were taking in a whopping 47.1 milligrams. That is nearly 5 times as much. Now, it's important to say this shows a correlation, not causation, but a connection that strong really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? The strongest athletes in the group had by far the highest zinc intake.
But of course, we need to have a balanced picture.
A big systematic review pointed out that while athletes often do have higher zinc intakes, like we just saw with those powerlifters, the science is still figuring out how long-term training directly affects the levels of zinc in our blood. But look, the link between zinc and muscle is so compelling that researchers aren't just looking at athletes. They're even studying its potential to help preserve lean mass in patients with conditions like Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. That really shows you how seriously the scientific community takes zinc's role in overall muscle health.
Section 5. Your zinc game plan. Okay, so we've seen the science, we've seen the real-world data. Now let's turn all this information into an actionable game plan. How can you make sure your zinc status is actually supporting your goals? This is that moment where we shift from theory into practice. What can you actually do, starting today, to make sure this critical mineral is working for you and not against you? Well, the answer is simple, and it's always the best place to start. Food first. The foundation of any solid nutrition plan has to be whole foods. And the good news is, zinc is readily available in things a lot of us already eat, like red meat, shellfish, oysters are famous for being packed with zinc, and for my plant-based athletes out there, legumes, seeds, and nuts are awesome sources. Plus, getting zinc from food means it comes with a bunch of other nutrients that help your body absorb it, making it super bioavailable. And you know, there's another really cool benefit. Beyond its direct role in waking up those satellite cells, zinc is also a key player in supporting healthy hormonal balance. Specifically, it's a crucial building block for testosterone synthesis. So yeah, optimizing your zinc can support your muscle building goals from a couple of different angles. Okay, and I have to be super clear about this next part. This is absolutely non-negotiable. While that data on the powerlifters is really interesting, it is not a prescription. Before you even think about reaching for a zinc supplement, you must talk to a qualified professional, like a doctor or a registered dietitian. They can actually assess your personal diet and your needs to figure out the safest, most effective approach for you. Please, self-prescribing is never the answer.
Section 6. The takeaway. All right, we've covered a ton of ground, from deep inside the muscle cell all the way to what's on your dinner plate. Let's boil it all down to the crucial points you really need to remember.
First, zinc is not just another mineral. It's a critical player for anyone who trains hard. Second, remember our analogy. Zinc is the foreman, the one who flips that PI3K/AKT switch to get muscle repair and growth started. Third, the data shows a really powerful correlation. The strongest athletes very often have the highest zinc intakes. And finally, your best strategy is always going to be prioritizing zinc-rich, whole foods in your diet.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question. Your training is probably dialed in. Your programming is on point, your macros are calculated. But is your nutrition truly optimized down to the very last crucial mineral? Hey, if this explainer helped you connect a few dots, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. And definitely subscribe for more deep dives into the science of getting stronger. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.